Good afternoon again, officially, everybody, from reasonably sunny Worcestershire. It's not sort of making it's sort of undecided as to whether it wants to be sunny or not. Thank you for taking the time out this afternoon for our Greater Fort Lauderdale Everyone Under the Sun webinar. I would like to introduce you to two special guests. We've got Paul Mason from sunny Florida, and it's so sunny it looks as though he's got his blinds down, keeping the sun out because it's obviously so hot.
I do.
Excellent, excellent. And then we've got Melanie from Greater Fort Lauderdale, the UK rep office. And we are delighted to bring you this webinar today and I know Paul and Melanie are going to think that I'm just saying this, but it is one of my favorite destinations in the US, albeit I haven't been for well over 10 years. But I've got... Beg your pardon?
The check's in the mail, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. No, I'm not blowing smoke up your you know what. No, I genuinely do. I genuinely do mean that. So anyway, let's get cracking. So I'm going to hand over, I believe, to Melanie, who's going to take us through the presentation. And Melanie, I apologize in advance. I'm a bit of a talker, so if I'm interrupting you with loads of questions and stuff like that, I will apologize in advance. So but yeah, we like to have a bit of a chat with these things as well, rather than just doing a presentation. So I will hand over to the lovely Melanie, who's going to talk to us about Greater Fort Lauderdale.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Well, firstly, no apologies needed, because yes, we like the same. Paul says the same thing. If you have any questions as you're going through, don't kind of feel you need to stack them up to the end. I don't know, maybe if Karina or Nigel could keep a lookout for any chat questions. But
yeah, we will.
Anybody feel free to pipe up with any questions. So I'm based over here, as you can tell, in England. In actually quite sunny England at the moment. And we represent Fort Lauderdale over here in the UK. And then, as Nigel said, Paul is coming in from sunny Fort Lauderdale. So if you have any questions for either of us, then we should hopefully, I think between us, Paul should be able to answer everything.
I'm just here as eye candy. I swear I'm not really here. I'm just watching.
Okay, well, I might pick you up on that later though, Paul, to answer your question. So I don't know if anybody's been to Fort Lauderdale before or sold Fort Lauderdale before. I know that a lot of people know Miami, a lot of people know Orlando, and then sometimes, as over in sunny Fort Lauderdale kind of sometimes gets overlooked. Saying that, I know, talking to a lot of you guys over the last few weeks, cruising is huge in Fort Lauderdale, so it's not our only attractive it's not our only persona, but it is a huge part of Fort Lauderdale. So some of you may know Fort Lauderdale from cruising. So I have a little presentation here, so let's just start off. So again, let me know if you have any questions. So I'm just going to start off by playing you a little video, and fun tip, fun fact even, this music in this video is actually was created by a local artist, so specifically for the tourist board. So here we go.
I believe in the art of taking my time. I like to sip life slow, kind of like tequila and lime. Let the sun set low so the stars can align. I'm in a free state of mind all of the time, all of the time. Yeah. And I color out loud, ripping my show like, hey, oh, hey, hey. If you wanna feel amazing, right now, let's show your legs and color the whole town. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, yo, I color out loud, ripping my town. Everyone under the sun.
So that gives you a little flavour, a short little snippet of what you can see in Lauderdale. So just to go back to basics here. So for where we're located, so as I said, we're close to Miami. So we're only 30 minutes north of Miami, and just located here between the ocean and the Everglades. So the slightly darker shaded green section on the left-hand side of the map there is the Everglades. So you're really only about 25 minutes, depending on traffic, about 25 minutes from the ocean out to the Everglades, just down here in southern Florida. We are all about sunshine, outdoor living, and great food. So we have over 3,000 hours of sunshine every year. We have over 4,000 places to eat and more than 38,000 different places to stay. We also have 24 miles of beautiful golden beaches. So you kind of got an idea there in some of those snapshots in the video, but the beach kind of runs all the way up the coast, but it's only 24 miles. So if you think about what a sort of short distance that is, so we're packed into quite a small distance and then out towards the Everglades. So we have different beaches for different, anybody that's looking for a different type of beach, we've got something for everybody. So we have Fort Lauderdale Beach, which is kind of what we've maybe kind of consider the main beach area. This is where things are a little bit more high rise. You can see from the picture here. And this is where you have lots of your restaurants, bars, lots of things going on there. And then we have Hollywood Beach, which is just a bit further south. We have the Broadwalk here. So the Broadwalk, as in it's broad, not the boardwalk made of wood. So the Broadwalk here is a brilliant location. You can kind of walk up and down. You can hire bikes. You can hire e-bikes. You can hire scooters. And you've got your restaurants and the Broadwalk, and then you go directly onto the beach. And we also have some more rustic and natural beaches. Deerfield Beach is a really popular one for families. We have beaches with piers, Pompano Pier. You can go fishing off the pier. So we really have something for everybody. And as far as who we are, so all these beaches, we are all about water. So of course we're all about water in the sea, but we're also all about water in our canals and our waterways. So this little video here just kind of gives you a small little snapshot of some of the waterways that we have. So we've got over 300 miles of navigable waterways. So we're all about anything you can do under the water, snorkeling, diving, on top of the water, jet skiing, kayaking, and on top of the water if you want to go on the water taxis. So I'll come on to the water taxis in a minute. We are all about diversity. We're a very inclusive destination and very accessible. I'll tell you a little bit more about accessibility later, actually. And just fun in the sun. So I mentioned all these waterways, 300 miles of waterways. So do remember that, because it really does make Fort Lauderdale quite a different location. So some of these waterways are much bigger, like we saw in the previous video, and some of them are kind of these sort of slightly smaller ones, all the way down to little ones that you can just take a little gondola ride along. Lots of the mansions in the area have their swimming pools looking onto them, lots of yachts and boats that kind of berth up against them. And you can see here the little walkways as well that you can that you can wander along. Because of all the waterways, we are very popular with the yachting community. There's over 50,000 yachts registered here in Fort Lauderdale. And because of that, we are known as the yachting capital of the world. So every October, there's a very big event. The yachting festival comes to town, and they bring out all these pontoons. There's some slightly unusual parking here, you might notice on that picture. But there's thousands of people that come to this event. And so if you have got clients who are interested in, I think locals, Paul, you probably say locals tend not to come down to the main area when the show's on, but it is quite a spectacle if you have got people that are interested in that. We have 18 wrecks, so if you've got clients who are interested in snorkeling and diving, they're all accessible by boat. We have got a couple you can access by from the beach. It's a little bit of a swim to get out there, but you can access them from the beach. Otherwise, there's lots of different outfitters you can use to either learn to dive or redo your paddy, and you can go out for a few hours or all day. Some of them are natural, some of them slightly less natural, like this one. And we have our branding we have as everyone under the sun. It just means that we are very inclusive and accessible destination. So we have over 170 different languages and nationalities represented in Lauderdale, and we have all of our kind of activities. Obviously the hotels, but activities, things that people want to do are very accessible, in particular as well for people who might be in a wheelchair or who might use the sunflower lanyard. So I'll just play this little video for you here. She says, there we go.
The greater Fort Lauderdale area really does have something for everyone under the sun.
This is amazing. To be able to keep up and enjoy something like this with my family is incredible.
This is so fun.
All of the different experiences they have. You know, we had my daughter who would be content just sitting on the beach, reading a book, and hitting every museum. So we've done the museums, and we did a play, and they were both phenomenal experiences. And then we've done the more active things. We went on an airboat tour to look for the alligators in the Everglades. And we've gone to the beach, and we're going water skiing.
I'm so ready for this.
There is something for every personality and every ability level.
And you can come here and experience this amazing county. I hope that as you watch this, you have seen that Greater Fort Lauderdale is a destination for you and your family.
It doesn't matter if you have a cognitive or intellectual disability. It doesn't matter if you use a wheelchair. It doesn't matter if you have dietary restraints. There is something for you here, and they are willing to work with you to make sure that your needs are met so that you can have the best possible family vacation in an area that accepts everyone under the sun.
Fantastic. That was great music on that one too, Melanie. And apologies everyone, I'm having to join via my phone because my PC has just decided it's going to do a reboot right in the middle of the webinar. Thanks then. So no, going to that, and that really resonates, I think, certainly with me, Melanie, because I know there is you've got some information in terms of when you've got like the sunflower lanyard and things like that, right? In terms of being in Lauderdale.
Yeah, absolutely, Nigel. Sorry, I couldn't hear you very well just then at the start, but yes, absolutely. So you saw in that video, perhaps at the beginning, one of the families, the lads in the family, it was wearing their sunflower lanyard. So I think it's a lot more well known, isn't it now, kind of around the world, and for people who are traveling internationally, and certainly within the UK. But the hidden disability sunflower lanyard, when somebody's wearing that, they can just kind of subtly let people know that they are looking for a little bit more, a little bit more help or a little bit more time, or and especially at airports, definitely around the world, that's kind of very much the norm in many places now. But we are also a destination verified Wheel the World. So Wheel the World, which I actually didn't know about until I started working with Lauderdale, but it's a very kind of stringent set of tick boxes, if you like, that a destination will need to, to be able to adhere to. So most places around the world will have the ADA rooms, the wide doorways in the hotels, restaurants that you can access. But really, Fort Lauderdale is about inclusivity in every part of the holiday. So it means, like you saw in there, if somebody wants to go out on an airboat in the Everglades on their wheelchair, if they want to use our wheelchairs, we have these kind of beach buggies. I think you saw those big kind of round kind of sand wheels, especially set up for the beach. So we have those that can be accessed. So it's that everybody can access every part of their holiday, and they're not kind of going to be restricted in any way.
Yeah, I think the thing that struck me with the video as well was the lady water skiing as well, which was the first that I'd seen, which was absolutely brilliant.
I know, yeah.
That really,
I love it. I think they're all like really, I don't know if I would do water skiing. I've never done it. I don't know if I would do water skiing these days. So maybe I think that everybody's kind of quite brave doing that. But it is so much fun, and there's all kinds of different activities that people can get involved in, and there's no restrictions there.
Well, I can't water ski for Toffee being fully able-bodied, let alone having being in a wheelchair. And like I said, that the lanyard, I think I'd mentioned before to you guys, it resonates with me because I've got a stepson who has a condition that where he needs to use the lanyard, and it's a small but hugely important thing in terms of when you're traveling and in certain situations. So bravo for you guys being at the forefront of all of that. It really does resonate.
Thanks. Yeah, it's nice to hear. And we're very, very proud of it. And I think it's not going to be every client that you have, but actually these days more and more people will be asking for it, and it's definitely something to to think of.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have got somebody that doesn't really know where they want to go, yeah, it's something to consider. This next slide is a little bit tricky to see, but I just wanted to pause on this slide just for a second, because just to show you that on the kind of right hand side of the screen you've got kind of the ocean there, and you just see those strip of hotels, and then you've got the cruise port just down here, just to the sort of forefront of the image, and in the middle you've got all of these waterways. So it just shows you how many there are, how many miles there are, 300, and how they kind of meander. Some of them are very much a kind of structured setup, some of them are meandering, so there's so much water. And then just on the left hand side there's a little bit built up there which shows the downtown area, and Las Olas Boulevard, which I'll come to in a second. So how to get to Fort Lauderdale? You may or may not know there are direct flights, but not into Fort Lauderdale, it's into Miami. So you can fly indirectly. You could fly it via, say, Montreal or New York. I mean, the choice is endless, really. But actually, if you come via Montreal, it's quite handy because you go through customs in Montreal as you're departing from Montreal, and you could land into Fort Lauderdale International Airport as a domestic traveller, and you can just literally whiz through, and it's very, very quick. Then you're also only 10 minutes away from pretty much anywhere. If you want to stay at the beach, if you want to stay in Las Olas, you're pretty much kind of 10-15 minutes away from any of your hotel options. So it's a perfect way to arrive into the area. We are also yeah, it's so handy because half the time you can spend an hour and a half getting from the airport, can't you, to your hotel? So
yeah, absolutely, very
handy. And really anywhere is within, I mean, we say 10 minutes, but I suppose you could be 20 minutes if you depending on how wide out you go. But it's everywhere is very easy to get to for cruise port, for getting down to Fort Lauderdale Beach, and from getting to the airport. Alternatively, a lot of people are coming in from Miami or in from Orlando. So you've got these two options here. So from Miami, I don't know if anybody's done this themselves. I did it just last year. So you can hop on the Bright Line. So it's a brand new train. It's super slick, it's just a very relaxed way to arrive in somewhere. So you get off your flight in Miami. They have transfers that whiz round, and you just give them a few bucks tip, and they'll go and take you to the Bright Line train station, and it's only 30 minutes then north to get into Fort Lauderdale. So it's so straightforward. And the other option is to come down from Orlando. So if clients are spending a week or 10 days in the park, and then they can just get 3.5 hours down from Orlando and then come straight into Lauderdale. So it's a perfect way to get in. It's also, you can get tickets for kind of like 40, 50, 60 bucks if you book them in advance. So it's from Orlando, I mean. So it's very, very reasonable. Alternatively, people are coming into Miami. We have got the Tri-Rail. The Tri-Rail is a little bit like, I kind of liken it a little bit to the Gatwick Express or the Overland train or the Paddington Express. The Heathrow Express into Paddington or the Piccadilly line. So it's kind of just that difference where you've got the Bright Line versus the Tri-Rail, but the Tri-Rail is like a few dollars, and it does actually go directly from Miami airport as well. The other main way that people are getting around because of all this water is by water taxi. So these bright yellow water taxis are so much fun, and they're so efficient and so easy to get around on. So they have 12 main stops, and there's quite a lot of other stops along the way, but there's kind of a 12. Is it still 12 stops actually, Paul? There was talk of a couple of other main stops being added in. But
there are several stops that you can stop along the way. However, there are 11 to 12 main distinct stops. I think it's now 12.
Great, thank you. Okay, so still 12. But there is such a great way to get around. There's different sized water taxis. So you've got kind of a lot smaller ones, some larger, a bit more robust to the bigger waterways. And on board there's like a little bar. You can usually grab a little drink or snack, but there'll be the main part for me is the commentary. So you'll have really passionate and kind of interesting hosts on there, and they'll be telling you all about which mansions you're going past, the flora, the fauna, the history of the area. My memorable one for me was going past 2 yachts. One was baby blue and one was baby pink, and they were Mr. and Mrs. I don't actually remember whose yachts they were. It was somebody who lived locally with they're outside their birthed outside their mansion, but they literally had their Mr. and Mrs. yachts, which was quite a nice little touch. And the other thing to think about for getting her out on the water is the Jungle Queen. So I know you guys at the moment, Stuba, you've got the hotels, but Jungle Queen and water taxi, you'd have to book separately. But it's a fun evening, kind of. It's like a sundowner type cruise. You head up to the private island, you go and see a show, you have a barbecue dinner. It's a fun evening, so that's something to think about for your clients. And we also have the things like these little cruising tikis. So they're kind of like bring your own booze type place. You can hop on and hop off, but there'll be somebody hosting you. But then it's kind of a little like floating pub.
Melanie, the water taxis, those are different. Are those different to the boats that you can do sort of like an inland waterway tour and see all the famous houses and things like that?
It's basically the same thing, actually, Nigel. So the water taxis get from A to B. There are a sort of a few different ones, but the water taxi is the main way to get around and the main way to. It's like you would do, say, a hop-on, hop-off bus. You know, you would use your hop-on, hop-off bus to get from A to B, but you'd also use it for finding out about the area, seeing a little bit of the area, hearing some little anecdotes, that kind of thing. So the water taxi, it takes you from A to B, but it's all about kind of getting to know the local area as well.
So I remember doing an inland waterway, and I'm going to show my age now. I remember they showed us the house that was owned by the chap who owned Blockbuster, which I guess is no longer, right? I don't know if you've still got Blockbuster in the US, but they're not here anymore.
That would be Mr. Heisinger. He's been gone for many years now. He basically started 3 Fortune 500 companies, or 2 Fortune 500 companies, which is just unheard of. Blockbuster being one of them. He also owned the Dolphins, the Panthers, which is a hockey team, and the Miami Marlins. So he quite a man.
I can imagine.
He really helped put Fort Lauderdale on the map.
Fantastic. Just going through some of the comments in the chat whilst we have a moment. So we've got Michael that says he's got a lady that travels with him that he books, and she travels with her yellow sunflower lanyard everywhere, and obviously it proves beneficial. And then Daryl who's asking, do they offer day passes for water taxis? But Michael has already said, he's asking, sorry, are water taxis free?
No, they are not. No, there is a cost for them. It does vary based on what you're doing. You can do the hop on, hop off. You get an all-day pass. There are evening passes. They do have a great website. I definitely highly recommend you go on it and take a look. The prices do vary.
Okay, and so that probably answers Daryl's question about offering the day passes, which you've just covered off there, Paul. Thank you.
And the costs are kind of a bit like, doing a hop on, hop off. It's such a great value way to be able to see a lot and get about. Yeah.
And actually, a complete aside, Melanie, and I've seen your name and known you for a while now, but it's just occurred to me, you're not any relation to Pat Benatar and the music, are you, in any way at all, are you?
Oh, Nigel, I should pretend and say no, I'm not, because I don't know the full story. But basically, yes, I am.
Oh, really? Fantastic.
My husband's late father's cousin by marriage. So is that really a relation? You know, I don't know if that is.
Well,
Go
hey,
with
look,
it. Go with it, Melanie. Go with it.
Yeah, own it. It's good enough for me. I was being somewhat flippant, but I'm that's a fantastic surprise. So okay, all right, no problem. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. Greater Fort Lauderdale. I do apologise.
Well, I don't know if I don't think Pat Benatar has a mansion in Fort Lauderdale, but one of the things about the water taxis that I did love every time I've done it, is when you're going around. I mean, I know we're heavily talking about water taxis here, but it really is it's just the essence of how you're getting around Fort Lauderdale. And I particularly enjoyed, and he was pointing out, and this is the Mr. L'Oreal's mansion just here on the corner, and you kind of, not whizzing, you're steadily going around the outside of these mansions, and they've just got these beautiful pools. And I mean, it is really, really beautiful to obviously
it is.
Might see the odd person in the pool, but it's such a beautiful kind of relaxing way just to kind of meander around the waterways.
No, absolutely, completely agree.
So sticking with the water theme, as is everything in Fort Lauderdale. So Port Everglades is our cruise port. If you've sent anybody out of there, guys on cruises, then you'll be familiar with it. But it's the third busiest cruise home port in the world, so there are so many ships coming in and out of here, so many cruises heading in and out of here, and obviously we have Miami is just down the road as well, so that's two places which people can cruise from. If you have got clients that would like to stay for a while, I know a lot of clients just want to get on board, and then when they disembark, they just want to get home, but do encourage people to stay for a few nights, either side or one side of their cruise. And if they do want to stay close to the cruise port, we've got some really lovely hotels there, Pier 66, which I'll come to in a second, and the Hilton Marina. There's a few Hiltons in town, but if they want to be on the beach, it's 10 minutes down the road, so they can still get that beach experience and still get back to the cruise the morning that they head off within kind of 10 minutes. So it's just something to think about there for your cruisers.
Yeah, and actually to that point, sorry Melanie, to that point, just whilst you're on it, we actually curate, so with the destination like Fort Lauderdale, we actually curate our hotels with cruise. So in terms of, if you click on the cruise it's hard to say, cruise curation, it will show you the closest hotels to the port. So for example, if you were doing, stopping a day or so on the way out before you get your cruise, and you can stay nearby, and then if you're coming back and staying a couple of nights afterwards, and then as you say, everything's so sort of well located with you guys, then you can do the flip it and then stay by the beach. But we curate our hotels specifically with cruise ports like Fort Lauderdale to show the hotels that are near the cruise port.
That's really brilliant. Well, people could then you guys can kind of use the system then to kind of match those up.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'd also say that do have a look at if you're looking in the system and you kind of matching things up, have a think about which I'm sure you do already, matching the hotel to the cruise client. So the reason I point this out is because not every destination can match pretty much any level of cruising to any level of accommodation.
Sure, that's a good point.
Yeah, we do have everything from the kind of low-key relaxed accommodation all the way up to the kind of 5-star Four Seasons, that kind of thing. So yeah, and of course Disney arrived last year. So Disney, if you've got clients that are real Disney lovers, we have got people that are doing like 10 days in Disney, coming down on the Bright Line, staying for a few nights to sort of rest and recoup and relax in Fort Lauderdale, and then hopping on a Disney cruise out of their new terminal.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes, big draw, the Disney. There's little black Disney ears everywhere, and it's great. So as far as dining goes in Lauderdale, do kind of think about Fort Lauderdale as your as a dining destination. And we've got this beautiful Michelin guide page, because we just got entered into the Michelin guide this spring, which is a really, really amazing accolade. There's not really very many hotels in the US or Florida that are in the guide, so we're very proud to have these. So we have Mass, the chef's counter at the Four Seasons Hotel, and that has 1 star. And that's a great, you can see from this picture, it's a really great experience if people want to kind of have a bit of more of a sort of immersive or interactive seeing what the kitchen's doing. And Evelyn's in Fort Lauderdale, which is also at the Four Seasons, which is kind of a Italian flair restaurant. We have Daniel's Steakhouse and Larb Thai, which is not, it's much more relaxed. You just kind of queue up. You don't have to, you don't have to, I don't think you can even book. You just queue up to go in. I think that's one of your favorite restaurants, if I'm not wrong, Paul.
It is one of my favorite restaurants, and you are not allowed to make reservations. They do allow you to, of course, wait. They will serve you some beer and alcohol while you wait, but it is worth the wait. And yes, Melanie is correct. It is, without a doubt, one of my favorite restaurants in our region. It is authentic. It is an open kitchen. The service is amazing. The food even better.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So there's plenty of high-end options, but also just to say that when I say think of it as a food destination, it's not just for your sort of top-end clients. There are even the kind of little tiki huts. The food is so fantastic and so fresh, so much seafood, like so much fresh food. There's also the Marina Village, which opened fairly recently, in the last 18 months, was it, Paul?
What's that?
The Marina Village, when that opened up. It's not been open
a little over a year now. A little over a year. Yeah.
And it's the kind of location, we all know them from places here, but it's the kind of location where you've got lots of different places. So if somebody wants kind of lobster rolls, somebody wants a burger, somebody wants some sushi, you can all grab your different types of cuisine, and you can all kind of sit at the same table. So it's the kind of free seating, and you can all kind of dine together, but it's right on the water. Perfect for sundowners. Go and sit up top, have a little cocktail. Brilliant for watching the sunset.
Looks lovely.
Talking of sunsets.
Just before you go on, Melanie, I've just got a question from Daryl. He's asking, do you have a list of any hotels that offer day rooms at all? I don't know if you've got any hotels that would specifically designate that, or would that be on a sort of like a case-by-case basis with the hotel? Or
yeah, I don't think we have a list per se. You'd have to go on the individual individual hotel sites.
Yeah.
I can check and see about that. I know that there are a few that are around the airport that do offer that, around the pier that do offer that.
Yeah.
The roadway I know does. I believe there are a few more, but it's not huge here.
Right.
Some hotels will offer places to put your bags. But yeah, I would definitely look online for hotels that are close to the pier and the airport for that.
And Daryl, I can recommend giving them a couple of nights after their cruise. No, I know. And it's not always possible. You know, we all do it, don't we? We stretch our holiday time to as long as we possibly can. And then we get home and go straight into work and then back to it. So I appreciate not everybody has the time to do that. But it is a really, really great way to do it. And if that's your question about the luggage, I know some people... there are places to leave luggage in and around Fort Lauderdale, which you can find easily on Google. There's sort of 3 or 4 places. Or if you're, I don't know, if somebody goes shopping up to Sawgrass Mill, something like that, there are those options if they just don't have the time to stay overnight.
Even our museums will. For instance, MAD Museum, they will store your luggage while you enjoy and walk around. Several options to do that here.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, thank you, guys.
Okay. So this slide just kind of gives you a flavour of all the restaurant, kind of dock to dine, we call it. So you've got the water taxi down here in the right hand, just in the bottom picture, and it pretty much all well, almost all of the hotels and restaurants, they've got an outside dining option. So with the water taxi, you can just kind of hop on, have a little like cruise around, or go and do some sightseeing or some shopping, hop back on board, go and have a sundowner somewhere, hop back on board, go and have dinner somewhere. The fish restaurants are fantastic. Even like some of the smaller hotels have just got these really beautiful waterside kind of cafes or restaurants. So do have a little kind of think about mentioning to your clients about having a nice kind of waterside dinner to dine.
Sounds like my kind of dining.
I know, me too. So cultural attractions, I think, unfortunately, Florida isn't necessarily known for its cultural attractions, but in Lauderdale, we do have plenty. So if clients are coming, perhaps sometimes people are coming in the summer months and there might be a small bit of rain. So, excuse me, sorry, Bonnet House and Stranahan House are brilliant locations for your clients to go and take a little look round. And lots of these are very doable within a short space of time. So you're not going to, some city breaks you go to and you spend all day at one museum because there's just so many amazing things to see. There are so many amazing things to see in Fort Lauderdale, but you can still see multiple things during one day. So if you have only got 2-3 days, you're not kind of restricted on only seeing, say, one attraction. But we have multiple exhibitions in our art galleries, the performing arts, which you saw in the video. But there's plenty for if somebody's not looking for just beach stay. Shopping, mentioned shopping just earlier when we were talking about storing luggage. So we have lots of different options. The two, but for particularly interesting for UK clients, though, is Las Olas Boulevard. So this little photo here, Las Olas Boulevard, I briefly mentioned before when I said it was near downtown. So it's just a little bit further inland, and it's lots of independent shops, independent restaurants, independent cafes, independent hotels, some amazing places to go and eat, amazing places to kind of pick up a little trinket, do a little bit of people watching, just something a bit different. And you can get there on the water taxi. So you hop along, glide along on the water taxi and hop off and can go for a little walk along the river walk, which is kind of a bit sort of like a boardwalk along part of the waterways, and then just have a little stroll up and down Las Olas Boulevard. And Sawgrass Mills. So maybe many of you have heard of Sawgrass Mills. So Sawgrass Mills is a huge shopping centre. I think even Orlando sometimes mention it because it's just such a big draw in Florida. It is everything from your kind of H&M to your Gucci and everything in between and everything above and below that. So you could go and spend probably 2 full days and almost not hit every shop. So there's so much to see and do there. And it's not just shopping, it's your restaurants, it's your attractions, but it's something that people do ask about. So Sawgrass Mills is definitely one to think about if you've got clients that want to go shopping.
And what I would advise is tell your clients to wear comfortable shoes. I've again, albeit years ago, I went there and I can't remember ever walking so much. And even in my comfortable trainers, my feet were like, they felt it. So yeah, absolutely advise your customers if they go to Sawgrass Mills, take big bags, take bags that they can carry easily, big rucksacks or whatever, and very much take comfortable shoes because it's it's a huge place, but magnificent, absolutely magnificent. Actually, probably, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, probably my best shopping experience in the US was at Sawgrass Mills.
I can believe it, Nigel, because it's absolutely phenomenal. Can't be cool
really
about
is.
It's phenomenal.
And I'm a guy who likes shopping, so yeah, it absolutely ticked all the boxes.
Oh, brilliant. Well, if you've got clients who are less inclined with shopping, to do some shopping, or want to do both, there are lots of family orientated but not family only activities. The reason I say that is, so Flamingo Gardens and Butterfly World, we've got these photos here that show the little ones really enjoying their time, but it's just so beautiful in Flamingo Gardens. Does what it says on the tin, plenty of flamingos if you've never seen a flamingo, but there's loads of other animals you can see there. They have a little train that goes around. There'll be somebody who's kind of you can listen to the commentary along the way. Butterfly World as well is just nearby, so you can go and see those two within sort of 2, 3, 4 hours between the two of them, and then you can head over maybe to Sawgrass Recreational Park. So Sawgrass is the Everglades. So Sawgrass Rec Park do these fantastic airboat trips. You've probably seen them on the films. You can just see the little alligator there in the water, but it's a real sort of quintessential part of southern Florida, and you can access the Everglades from many places in southern Florida, but we are very lucky with Fort Lauderdale because the Everglades come right up to the edge of the area, so you can literally get there within 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, fabulous experience.
So yeah, amazing. So on to a little bit of sport. Not sure if everybody knows, but the World Cup's happening next year. So it is going to be in Miami. However, the stadium is in Fort Lauderdale. So if you've got any clients that are keen to do it and they think they need to be going to Miami to stay there, then just so that you're aware, do have a look at the Fort Lauderdale hotel options because they are a lot closer. I mean, Miami, it's going to be very accessible. You know, there's going to be transport links and the Bright Line. There's going to be lots of available transport options, but do have a think about Fort Lauderdale. And outside of the World Cup, if you've got clients that want to come and watch some soccer, football, Messi lives in Fort Lauderdale. His kids go to school there. He's very much part of the Fort Lauderdale community. So Inter Miami is based there. They are building their own stadium, but it's based there. And if you have any clients who are interested in pickleball, I don't know if you know, I think pickleball is quite getting sort of bigger over here as well now. So more people
very much so. Yeah.
We have a beautiful, sparkly new pickleball. I always call it a stadium pool, but it's not really called a stadium. But it's there are more pickleball courts here than anywhere in the world. It's huge. There's restaurants. There's plenty of things to do. But it's, if somebody's interested, then that's just something to know about. But if somebody wants to watch some ice hockey, if somebody wants to see some basketball, there is plenty of sport going on. So just make sure that you kind of have a look. Obviously, at different times of year, different sports are happening. But it's a very all US sports really are very family orientated, so it's a really great day out if your clients are looking for something a bit different. So to come on to lodging, so Stuba has pretty much every single hotel that that you might want to book in Fort Lauderdale. So this picture just shows you again, you've got the strip, this is Fort Lauderdale Beach, so you've got the Fort Lauderdale, you've got the beach, you've got the hotels, and you've got all the waterways, and then you just got that the downtown area, and Los Boulevard is just within that downtown area there. So just to say here, before I talk about a couple of hotels, you'll notice that you've got sea view, which ordinarily everybody loves, but you have also got water view. So do consider that when you're looking at it. Might be called waterway view, water view, city view, but the sun rises over the ocean and it sets over the down over downtown. So if you've got clients who are looking for a really beautiful sunset room, then you want to get them into that water view so that they can get that really beautiful sunset. And lots of restaurants and lots of pools are either rooftop or kind of part way up the hotels. You can see a few of them along here. So Fort Lauderdale does that really well and makes the most of all these incredible sort of really expansive views. So a few hotels just to mention. The Seminole Hard Rock Hotel, it's inland, so not everybody's going to be booking it, but it's quite a spectacle. It's completely hard rock through and through, everything you expect from a hard rock hotel. It's on the Seminole tribal land, so they run the casino there. The lights on the guitar show up every night. It's a proper light show. It's kind of like a little bit of Vegas. When you walk in, there's this enormous, like floor to ceiling waterfall. So it's a real spectacle. So if somebody's looking for that, then the Hard Rock is for them. If completely the other end of the scale, if somebody's looking for a much more kind of low rise, maybe a little bit sort of slightly retro, bit of art deco, bit of retro, bit of kind of seaside kind of fun, then the Plunge Hotel is one to look for. That's in Lauderdale by the Sea, which is just a bit further up the coast. It's very low rise there. You can see here there's only about, I think it's 5 or 6 stories high. They can't build, they're not allowed to build any higher than that. So the plunge is one to think about. The Marriott Harbour Beach is, it's a very big hotel, a bit like many Marriotts are, but we keep it in here because the pool is brilliant. The location is great. It does everything you expect from a Marriott. But yeah, the pool here is fantastic views. And Margaritaville, that's down in Hollywood, where we showed you where the Broadwalk is. So Margaritaville, very light, airy, kind of whitewashed walls, very kind of beach vibes, lots of all the music going on. That's a fun spot to be as well. And if you have clients who are looking for something a little bit more high end, so we have the Four Seasons and the Ritz-Carlton. They're not very old, they're only a few years old. So kind of during and post-COVID, there's been a boom of new hotels that have been built. Don't worry, it's not a building site, but there has been this incredible boom, and which has really kind of kept the pricing competitive. So for example, you can look this up yourselves, but the Four Seasons, the price you'll pay at the Four Seasons compared to a hotel, a Four Seasons that's more established, or say Orlando or something, you can get very good prices for a Four Seasons 5-star hotel in Fort Lauderdale, because it's a fairly new hotel. It's so beautiful, still has the signature scent, it still has all the signature kind of attributes you'd expect from the Four Seasons. 2 beautiful pools, fantastic children's programs, so something to think about there if you've got clients or honeymooners, they're looking for a good deal. And sometimes you can actually get the same priced hotel down on South Beach for a 3-star as you can for a 4+ 5-star in Fort Lauderdale, so just have a little play around with some of the options there. The Conrad is an all-suite. I really like the Conrad. Can't quite see the pool here. It's just sort of behind those 2 palm trees on the left. But it's a beautiful hotel, all-suite, very light, very airy. You've got these beautiful balconies. You can look out across the waterways and the ocean. And Pier 66. So Pier 66, some of you have heard of before. They just reopened earlier this year. Pier 66 is pretty much, it's kind of just more or less opposite the cruise port, but it's possibly one of the even higher end than the Four Seasons and Ritz-Carlton. The refurb has been phenomenal. They have a revolving tower, which is kind of the iconic part of the Pier 66 hotel. They have a revolving tower for dinner. If you can kind of book in to go in there. The decor is very chic, very again bright, airy, very luxurious, but in muted tones, kind of luxury. So that's something to think about if somebody's looking for high end. And then just
got a question here. Actually, I should probably let you finish, but I've got a question here from Michael. He's saying so many nice hotels in Lauderdale. Can you tell us what your favorite hotel in Fort Lauderdale is and why?
Well, I don't have favourite.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
Well, I don't have favourite.
We love them all.
I would say
correct answer.
It depends on what you're looking for, guys.
Yeah.
Again, we have anywhere from your old Florida, 25-room motels that dot the coastline, which are unique in their own way, all the way up to your 5-star resort hotels. Are there ones that I prefer? Me personally, of course there are. Am I going to mention them to you? Heck, and no. This is a live recording. But I will tell you that one thing that we are very lucky with here, very seriously, is that our partners work with us and they work with our clients. They will always be quick to respond, and if they're not, you can always reach out to us and we'll help you get any answers to any questions you may have. But again, it's really about what you're looking for. Are you looking for something closer to Miami-Dade, closer to the airport, downtown? Do you want to be on Fort Lauderdale Beach? Do you want to be out by Sawgrass Mills Mall? These are all things that we can help you with. And again, each hotel is very unique, even the chain properties, the branded properties, because again, they take on a different life here in our region, because again, we are a beach and Southeast Florida location. How did I do, Melanie? Did I answer that?
Yes, absolutely. I entirely agree with you, Paul. It is a really, thank you for the question though, because it is a fair point, and then really that's what you want to know, don't you? Which is your favorite 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, boutique, all the different ones? But the thing is, it sounds like a bland response, but it is true because, and like I said before, there are so many new properties, but you can also see it's not, it's not a building site like some cities can, it's very well controlled in that way. But there are so many new properties that anybody that isn't a new property, they think, hold on a minute, next door, they're looking pretty good that side, they're looking pretty good that side. And so it has kind of, there's been a boom of refurbishments as well. So really it's tricky to find a hotel that's particularly old and tired, I suppose I would say. And I think that is one kind of USP of Fort Lauderdale, in that your choice, you really do have the pick of the lot. I mean, some of the hotels, there's one particular hotel I like the pool area of, which I think I can say, I mean, as I've already banged on about quite a few times, the pools are phenomenal here, and you can see them here. The Kimpton, I do particularly like the Kimpton Hotel's pool. They have two pools, beautiful pool, kind of in the middle of the courtyard. They have another one on the rooftop. And the reason I particularly like that one is just a little bit higher than some of the other pools. And you're right on the bend of one of the larger canals, larger waterways. So if you're there at Christmas when they're doing the Christmas parade and all the boats are kind of festooned in their Christmas decorations, you can see that coming down. If you're there watching the sunset, having your nice glass of rosé or frosé or cocktail or whatever, so it's a great spot there. But yeah, like Paul says, there really isn't there isn't a bad location. And the other thing that people have done, hotels have done, is tried to kind of stay within keeping of the Fort Lauderdale kind of barefoot, kind of luxury vibe, relaxed luxury vibe. And so instead of being the Hilton Fort Lauderdale, they are now the Beach House Hilton Fort Lauderdale. Instead of being the Courtyard Marriott Fort Lauderdale, they are now the Oceanside Fort Lauderdale. So people, hotels are very much kind of in keeping with the sort of the feel of the destination.
Yeah, looks lovely.
We have a great training program. I'm going to send this on separately to Nigel so that you guys can have a look. But if you're familiar with OTT training, so we have a module with OTT, and then it kind of funnels you through to our Lauderdale Loyalist program. We really urge you to do it because there's so much content on there. And once you become a Lauderdale Loyalist, you get even more content. And you can look at, itineraries and ideas, if specific questions, specific itineraries, collateral, that kind of thing. And then if you're looking for a trip there yourself, then there's, some little discounts and treats and things in there for you as well. So you go through and become the Lauderdale Loyalist. There's actually a 2-night stay at the Sonesta Fort Lauderdale at the moment, a little prize on there. So if you complete the training, then you might be in with winning a stay in Fort Lauderdale.
Brilliant, excellent.
I've just got one last little video to show you. The start of this video just shows you how different some of the beaches can be. So just take a look at this.
I've only just come back from annual leave and it's making me want to go again.
That's the perfect time to book a holiday, Nigel. Apparently, first day you get back is when everyone's booking their holidays. So thank you for listening. So this is just a few little pictures of some extra kind of bits and bobs that you can do in Lauderdale. But it's all about the water culture. You don't need a car, so save that $40, $50, $60 a night parking fee to spend on some tasty food, or I don't know, a trip out to go diving or shopping or something like that. But it's really all about the waterways. It's all about the food. It's all about the kind of relaxed luxury living style, and very, very welcoming destination.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy days, and actually thank to our agent. And can I just say, I'm loving these images, very kind of Instagram kind of posy images, you know, obviously very professionally done.
You're talking about Melanie's picture right now, correct?
Well, I was thinking about both.
I'm talking about both. It's a bit of a dead heat,
She looks
Paul,
great now. I
you
love
know?
that picture. What a great picture.
Yeah, let's get the catwalk out, you know. I'm sure you guys could be strutting your stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Just quickly, just wanted to ask if there are any other questions. Daryl and Carol have said thank you very much for a great presentation. Daryl is saying he wants to go back. Daryl's also saying, I remember a Pat Benatar love song is Battlefield. So he's jumped on the Pat Benatar bandwagon there. So...
Nice.
Love is the battlefield.
Yeah, I might have to look up a few Pat Benatar songs on Spotify once
Nah,
we're done. Play them in the background.
She was hot in the 80s, man. She was big music star over here. We loved her.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. No, I completely understand. No, and what a wonderful surprise, because like I said, I was being quite facetious, and there I was, I got an answer I wasn't expecting. But no, all joking aside, thank you, Melanie and Paul, for taking out time of your busy days to tell us about your genuinely wonderful destination. And thank you to our agents, as always, for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. We will send you a recording of this webinar, so you've got it for reference. But yeah, I'll just echo what Melanie says. I urge you, go and do the training, find out about the destination, send your clients here, and come and book your hotels via Stuba in Fort Lauderdale. So thank you all again for taking the time out of your day, and also to our regulars. I know we've got a few regulars on here who come on, so thank you for being so supportive of these webinars. So have a great rest of your day, guys, and thanks again, Paul and Melanie.
Thank you all so much. Cheers. And thanks for all the questions. It was great.
Take care, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.